with you information about child loss, Brooklyn's story, and how it affected me personally. By the age of 60, 9% of all Americans have experienced the death of a child. According to Schoenberg, child loss affects every family differently, and every person takes grief in a different way. Months following the loss of a child can be emotionally, physically, and mentally exhausting, which is where the majority of family and marital issues start to occur. After child loss, a website that helps grieving parents says that while grief may change over time, it never goes away. You're a different person now, and your ability to go on and rebuild after such a loss with your desire and with the right tools, you can regain control, redefine your life, and move forward without leaving your child behind. And now I'm going to be sharing with you Brooklyn's story. July 16th of 2018, Brooklyn Marie Ward was born, and there were some complications with her birth, so before being able to go home, she spent a few weeks of her life in the NICU. And then finally came the day where she was able to go home and her family was ready to fill her with love. From the moment of birth, Brooklyn was already full of life. She loved jumping in her jumper. She was always smiling, and I don't think I ever remember a moment in Brooklyn's life where she wasn't smiling. She loved being with her grandpa and grandma, and she also was always giggling and trying to wiggle around. Being an aunt was an absolute dream of mine. I remember the day that I found out that I was going to be an aunt, and it was a moment of pure joy. I will never forget the moment that I found out that I was going to become an aunt. And ever since that day, I counted off the days until July 16th when Brooklyn made her arrival. And I constantly, I love babysitting. I always babysat my siblings, but being an aunt, I felt that was more special. So I always told my sister that if you ever need a babysitter, I got you, and I will always babysit. Well, my dream came true, and she needed a babysitter, which reminds me of a story I'd like to share. One day, she was going out of town, and I said that I would take her. So she dropped her off at her house, and I had her bassinet, her bottle, everything I ever needed. And the night went great, and I got her to sleep in her bassinet right beside me on the couch. And then, like babies do, they wake up in the middle of the night, and she instantly started crying. And I was frustrated. I got her bottle, I tried soothing her, and nothing was working. But me, I told my family, I got this. I don't need your guys' help. Well, I was losing a lot of sleep, and so eventually I had to cave in for help, and I went and brought her to my mom. At about 2 months old, Brooklyn was diagnosed with malignant rhabdoid tumor. The Boston Children's Hospital says that this is a rare childhood tumor that commonly starts in the kidneys and later travels up to the brain or other soft tissues in your body. And for Brooklyn's case, it started in her kidneys, eventually leading to her brain and her whole body. From the moment she started showing symptoms, Brooklyn was admitted into the hospital where she later spent the rest 3 months of her life. She had surgery to remove her kidney, and our whole family thought, great, this is the end, we're gonna be okay. And with having chemo and radiation, she'll be okay, and we'll be able to take her home in just a month. Until everything wasn't okay anymore. And the doctors later said that it spread throughout her whole body, and said that there's not much else we can do for you. We then had to say goodbye to our sweet Brooklyn. December 16th of 2018, Brooklyn took her last breath surrounded by all of her family and everyone's life that she touched. Now I'm going to be sharing with you how it affected me personally and how I got through it. So around this time, I was in 8th grade. I was 13, it was right around my birthday. I was 13, ready to be 14 years old. And with Brooklyn being in the hospital, it caused me to be gone from school a lot. So I missed a lot of schoolwork, and I thought to myself, there's no possible way that I could ever get through this. I'm never going to get through this. I'm not going to get all my homework done. I'm not gonna catch up. I'm not gonna graduate with my classmates. I thought that my life was over, which I never realized how many people were right beside me, and all of my teachers and all of my classmates and all of my friends who helped me get through all of my homework and caught me up and got me ready for my first year of high school. What I learned from everything that happened with Brooklyn and missing almost my whole 8th grade is that no matter how hard life can get, you can always get through it. There's people who love you and care about you and will always get you through just about anything. And I always remember to always live each day like it's your last, and always tell your family and your friends that you love them, because you never know when the last chance you'll have to say, I love you. Today, I opened up your eyes to the short side of life, and I hope that my experience with such a loss inspired you to keep pushing forward and to remember to always live your life. Remember, every heartbeat means a new